been coming to this village of SaltRock for probably 2 decades. I remember when it was only really the SaltRock Hotel, the Caravan Park, and the 7-Eleven. What attracted me to this sleepy little town was exactly that, which meant that we invested and bought property here, and we come here every holiday. So I have a great and vested interest in the SaltRock community. South Africans are starting to protest, and South Africans have had it. We can no longer stand back and wait for government to fix things. The future of this community, the North Coast and South Africa, really is now in our hands. If we look at a thriving local economy, what does it take? Well, it takes employment. We're not going to thrive if more than 50% of the people working and living locally don't have jobs. We need an education system. We need good schools. We need good qualified people. We need the thinkers, people who can make a difference and people who can change and create the future that we want to be. We need obviously good services. We need to be connected to this global environment, and together we can create a thriving economy. This just kind of proves the point in terms of the theme of today, the community empowered. We can begin by doing small things at a local level, like planting community gardens or looking out for our neighbors. That is how change takes place in living systems, not from above, but from within, from many local actions occurring simultaneously. Every little thing, whether it is taking care of our rock pools, our tidal pools, growing a little garden, helping our neighbors, a sense of community, all those things happening in parallel, aligned to a shared vision, will ultimately allow us to create the future that we want for this community. So what am I going to cover? I'm going to cover 4 things in essence, and quite briefly. The first is the concept of placemaking. Secondly, I'm going to talk about growing our local economy. Thirdly, I'm also going to talk about globalization and connecting this community to the rest of the globe. And then I'm going to talk about the responsibility of the local employee to help local business thrive. Placemaking is very much about saying, what is this place that we live in? What is SaltRock? So the first thing is to define our homegrown culture and character. And if our resources are the tidal pools, the sea, the beautiful countryside, the rich history that this part of the world has, we need to retain it, and we need to build our vision on top of that. As a community, as local government, as business, if we have a shared vision, and a shared vision is a co-created vision, it's not a plan that somebody comes up with, and we can all buy into that, then every little action, every little decision we make brings us closer to creating that future for ourselves. We also need to take over the streets. What research has shown all over the world is that people need to be able to come to the center of a town where they can support local business. There needs to be pedestrian-friendly walkways, and there needs to be a transportation system that brings people there. So we need to think carefully about how do we develop the center of this community? How do we create a place where people come together, where they support local business, and where they socialize? We also have to learn to live better with less, okay? So really, it's not about an ever-expanding GDP. It's about saying, how do we create quality of life for the people? Yeah. The second point I said I'll talk about is growing the local economy. We talk about local business. And if we start supporting local business, you can have up to 2/3 of their profit being recycled back into the local economy.
What's an interesting...
People are actually prepared to pay a premium for things that are different, things that are authentic, things that are original, and things that tell a story. So ultimately, if we support our local business, we create jobs, we protect the environment, we talk about eco-friendly and ethical consuming, we talk about transparency in terms of where the things we buy from came from. Can we attach a story to it that is locally made, authentic, this is the story behind it? Secondly, we need to perhaps look at, are there perhaps new products that we can bring to life with a story and authenticity behind it? And thirdly, what we want to do to connect local business to the global economy is we want thinkers, yeah? And how can we create an environment that will attract those thinkers? We want makers and we want traders. Those are the things that we need to focus on. Having highly trained workforces, investing in innovation, investing in communication, creating an environment where people want to be because they can do better anywhere else. Why do I have to move to? What can we do as employees of local businesses? Well, first of all, we need to understand the bigger picture. We need to understand that the local businesses are dependent on our input. We need to nurture teamwork and collaboration. We need to perform and we need to be productive. Because if we're not, the businesses aren't going to be sustainable and profitable. We have to take care that we don't make it impossible for local businesses to be profitable. So we need to find solutions to wage issues, to labor relations issues, in a way that helps businesses to be sustainable. We need to take responsibility for our development and learning, and we need to think, do, and trade. Thank you.